Hello book lovers, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kay and today I'm going to be talking to you about all the books that I read in January 2024. Just a mild disclaimer, my sweet little baby boy Zion is currently in the room with us, so he might have some commentary on the books too. Since this is my first ever reading recap, I wanted to go into how my star rating system works. I know there are some people that are super methodical about the way they think about their star ratings. They look at the overall plot, the writing, the prose, the setting, the pacing, the world building, and then there are people like me who rate books solely off the way that they make you feel. So I am definitely a vibe star rater. So you can do with that what you will. If I was not feeling a book, it could be the best thing ever written, but if I personally was not enjoying it, it probably will not get a very high rating for me. I put together this little graphic and I'm just going to go through it with you. A 1-star rating is something that was the bane of my existence. I absolutely did not like it. I probably would not recommend it. Now, does this mean this is an absolutely horrible, atrocious book? No, everybody has different reading styles. This just means this book was absolutely not for me. A 2-star rating just means something was okay. I probably wouldn't recommend it to other people. Parts of it I probably liked or maybe laughed at, but overall it was just not my favorite. A 3-star rating means that the book was good. I probably wouldn't read it again, but there are some people that I would recommend it to. This just means it wasn't the absolute mind-blowing type of read, but I did enjoy my time reading it. A 4-star rating are books that I absolutely love. There might have been a few mild things that I didn't completely love about the book, but these are books that I would probably recommend to the majority that read the same types of books that I do. And a 5-star rating for me is a story that I am completely obsessed with. It takes over my thoughts of every day. The characters are sticking with me long after I read it. I keep thinking about the storyline and the plot and everything that happened. So pretty much a 5-star for me. This book pretty much becomes my new personality and that is how I go about star ratings personally. Do with that what you will. You can disregard my star rating system. Without further ado, I'm just going to share with you the books that I read in January. We are going to start from lowest rated to highest rated, but this first book I did not leave a rating on. So this was a nonfiction Christian book and that was Jesus, the God Who Knows Your Name by Max Lucado. I did not rate this book. I feel kind of weird about rating Christian nonfiction books. I mean, unless it's something where I feel like the theology is just absolutely wrong, I probably won't read it. This, I thought it was going to go more into depth about, you know, Jesus and the people that he called by name, but it kind of just felt like a devotional. They were short chapters. It was quick and easy to read. You can do with that what you will. So this book was one of the books that I read and I just did not rate it. So the first book that I rated, coming in at a 2-star, it was just okay to me and I'm honestly really sad about that. That would be The Last Devil to Die by Richard Osman. This is the 4th book in the Thursday Murder Club series, and the Thursday Murder Club, you follow these 4 people in their 70s and they solve murder mysteries within the retirement home that they live in. And the first 2 books of this series were hilarious. I loved them. The mystery was crazy. The 3rd book was pretty good, but this book, it just missed the mark for me. This might be the end of my journey in the Thursday Murder Club series. Like parts of it I found funny, but I don't know. I wasn't surprised with the mystery. I think I might be done with this. It was okay. I didn't hate it, but I think we might be breaking up. The next book that I read was quite the chonker. That was Jade Legacy by Fonda Lee. I'm going back and forth between rating this a 3.5 to a 4-star. 3.5. I don't think I can see myself reading this trilogy again anytime soon. This is almost a 750 page book. This is a very heavily political series, and political in the sense of this world. And there was 150 pages probably that just lost me. And I almost DNF'd this in the middle of it. I kept pushing because something crazy finally happened, and then the rest of the book was super great to me. This follows Hilo, who you meet in the first book, Jade City, and pretty much the legacy that he leaves throughout the rest of his life on the No Peak clan. So I did really enjoy the story and seeing what progressed over the years, but parts of this just really weren't it for me. I do think it tied up the trilogy beautifully. The next book is a 4-star for me, and that is The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. Zion really liked this one, but I really love Mary E. Pearson's writing. In this one, you follow Princess Leia, and Princess Leia decides that she does not want to fulfill her duty as a daughter of the kingdom and take part in an arranged marriage. So she decides to run away and start a new life with her best friend. And when she gets to this small town, she ends up meeting these 2 strangers who walk into the place that she takes a job at, and one of them is actually the prince she's supposed to marry, and one of them is an assassin, and you don't really know who is who until closer to the end of the book. And I totally had it wrong who is who. When I found out who the assassin was, I was just shocked. I was like, no way. I just did not pick up on it. So this was super duper fun. I would definitely read this again. I really enjoyed this, and I can only imagine it's just going to get better as the series progresses. Kiss of Deception, amazing. I loved it. I would recommend this one. The next book that was a 4-star for me was Kingdom of Flesh and Fire by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This was a 4-star solely because there are 2 things in particular that bother me about the writing in this. One thing is the excessive use of ... after the end of sentences. For example, on page 265, Poppy says, "That has to be ... inconvenient. He ... I just don't like the excessive use of the ... and I'm pretty sure that Poppy's mantra and catchphrase is whatever, because she says whatever all the time. And so those are the 2 things about this series that absolutely drive me crazy. I hate the ... and I hate the whatevers. Other than that, this series is really good. I enjoy the type of vampire-y story. I feel like this is a really unique fantasy from Blood and Ashes, the first book, and I've never quite been like a vampire werewolf type of book reader, but this I truly do enjoy the storyline and where this is going. The ending of this one had my jaw on the floor, so I'm hoping to read at least the 3rd one in February. So we will see, but this was a 4-star. Other than the 2 minor things that drive me crazy, I did really enjoy this. The next book I'm going between 4.5 to 5 stars on, and that is The Stars Would Curse Us by Valerie Rivers and Stephanie Combs. I actually won this one in a giveaway, and the authors signed it and sent it to me, and they've actually talked with me on Instagram about how they went about writing this story, and it's just so interesting. The reason that I am so between 4 and 5 stars with this is that I did slowly become obsessed with this as the story continued. So in the world in this book, you are required to get married by the age of 25, and you either will get married by being drawn in a marriage draft and being sent off to compete for one of the royal people's hand, or you are sent to an arranged marriage if you do not get drafted. Mr. Zion is going to join us for part of this, but in this story, you follow Ayla, and Ayla was selected for the marriage draft, so she is actually sent off with her best friend to have to compete for the prince's hand. And these competitions become deadly. So kind of like The Bachelor meets the Hunger Games, but make it fae, elemental fae. So it's so interesting. And then the other storyline, you're following Arianwen. So she was not selected for the marriage draft. She is on her way to meet her arranged husband. On her way to meeting her new husband, she stumbles upon a stranger who is injured. She's a healer, so she decides to stop and heal him, and then she ends up going on this crazy wild adventure. So both of these stories you're kind of reading, and it's like these could be two different books, but the way that they connect in the end, I did not see coming, and now I cannot stop thinking about the ending of this book, and that's why I'm leaning towards a 5-star on this. I was leaning towards a 4-star because for the longest time I'm like, I don't see how these stories are connecting. I don't get it. I don't get it. But then they connected, and I don't know. I might be obsessed with this. This is an indie published book. It just came out in January, and I can't stop thinking about it. The ending of this just blew me away, and the next one is supposed to come out later in 2024. And I hope it's on Kindle Unlimited because I am on a book buying ban, but I need to know what happens. My first 5-star read of January was Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. This is the first book that I have read by Brandon Sanderson, and it was incredible. It was witty, it was hilarious. In this, you're following Tress, and Tress is pretty much going on an adventure to save the man she loves who was kidnapped by this wicked witch. And she is sailing through the dangerous seas that are of this world, and the crew on this ship are all hilarious. I have never laughed out loud so much to a book, and I just enjoyed this so much. Brandon Sanderson, in his author's note, he basically said he was going for the vibes and the humor and wittiness of The Princess Bride, and I think he absolutely nailed it. The Princess Bride is one of my favorite movies of all time, so this was an easy 5-star rating for me. I would say the ending didn't completely blow me away. I mean, parts of it did, like the plot twist at the end was pretty crazy, but I don't know, I loved this so much. I think it was just the overall humor, and some of the quotes throughout this book were just so beautiful. There were lots of topics about how everybody is gifted and everybody should really try to spend time developing those gifts that they have. I absolutely loved Tress of the Emerald Sea. My final 2 5-star reads are Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. Shout out to my sister-in-law Ashley for sending me Ruthless Vows because I'm on a book buying ban and my library was going to take forever to get it to me. This duology is incredible. I do not want to give away any spoilers for this series because I feel like I could so easily do that by gushing about it. So I'm just going to read the inside cover as to what this is about. After centuries of sleep, the gods are warring again, but 18-year-old Iris Winnow just wants to hold her family together. Her mother is suffering from addiction and her brother is missing from the front lines. Her best bet is to win the columnist promotion in the Oath Gazette. To combat her worries, Iris writes letters to her brother and slips them underneath a wardrobe door, where they vanish into the hands of Roman Kit, her cold and handsome rival of the paper. When he anonymously writes Iris back, the two of them forge a connection that will follow Iris all the way to the front lines of battle. For her brother, the fate of mankind, and love. Divine Rivals is an epic enemies to lovers fantasy novel filled with hope and heartbreak and the unparalleled power of love. This is incredible. The topics of grief and war and love and hope are just so strong in this, and the connection that Kit and Roman form together is so beautiful. And the writing, like Rebecca Ross's writing, is nothing like I have ever read before. It is so unique and whimsical, but it's believable. I just highly, highly, highly recommend Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vow. It is an amazing, amazing duology, and it just left me in all of my feels. So I can't decide what my favorite read of January was. If it was Tress of the Emerald Sea, that kind of gave me this nostalgic vibe back to The Princess Bride, or if it was Divine Rivals because of the emotion it evoked from me, because I think when something like tugs on your heartstrings, it's like, do I have to make this my favorite? But I don't know. I don't know, you guys. That is all of the books that I read in January 2024. Have you read any of these books that I read? If so, what were your thoughts on them? Were they different than my opinions? Were they close to my opinions? And I want to know what your favorite read of January 2024 was. Let me know in the comments. But thank you so much for watching this channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next week.